At Neon Greens, the lettuce in your salad is harvested from a farm the same day it ends up on your plate. But it's probably not the type of farm you're imagining.
We are part farm, part restaurant, and we are dedicated to building and growing the freshest salad you've ever had in your entire life.
That's Josh Smith, owner and founder of Neon Greens, which opened in March 2024. The restaurant is in the Grove neighborhood and has a hydroponic farm that sits right next door.
What we do is we plant our little plants in these little seedling plugs. They start germinating and growing, and then we move them to essentially an irrigation system. So they're sitting vertically, they're suspended, and every day we simulate the sun via LED lights. We simulate the water that they would get normally via groundwater and precipitation, and that's via an irrigation system. We manage the water, so we make sure that it has ample nutrients as it would in real life.
And once the greens are harvested, they are sent directly into the restaurant on a conveyor belt. Smith says he came up with the Neon Greens concept during the pandemic, while he was still living in New York.
It started with a little tiny hydroponic desktop kit, and I started growing herbs and flowers and lettuces, and it was incredible. I kind of went down a rabbit hole. From that point, I ordered a bunch of industrial farming equipment from Iowa, and I had a whole test site in my basement, and I started growing everything I could get my hands on.
He then decided to return to his home city to start the hydroponic farm and restaurant.
I had ideas for elsewhere in the country that might work, and all signs just started leading back to St. Louis. I still have family here, and more importantly, there are a lot of quick serve concepts that exist in this country. A lot of those concepts have started on the coasts. I thought it was really important and a unique opportunity to have a concept that is geared towards growth, that we want to grow and share with more people, have its heart in the Midwest.
Smith says there's many benefits to using a hydroponic farm, one of them being less crop loss.
We have the perfect day every day. So we have a lot of sensors and control mechanisms that allow us to maintain the water, the air temperature, the humidity, and make sure that there are no negative fluctuations that would affect the crops.
This method also uses less water, and no pesticides are needed either. And with just two roughly 400 square foot farms in the facility, Neon Greens can grow an astonishing amount of lettuce.
Between these two farms that we have, we can grow 120 pounds of lettuce every single week. That averages to around 3 acres worth of produce that we're able to grow.
Most of the lettuce you would normally eat in the St. Louis region travels for days or even weeks to get here. According to the Agricultural Marketing Research Center, about 98% of our nation's lettuce comes from Arizona or California, and the long travel time affects the available nutrients in the greens. And though they are currently only growing lettuce, Smith says other salad ingredients are locally sourced. And besides a tasty meal, customers are also welcome to come in for a tour.
We do tours every 2 weeks right now. It's subject to availability and what's happening in the farms, but we love sharing the space with people and giving them a sense of how we grow here, and more than that, how they can grow things like this at home. Something that also is just incredibly exciting and rewarding is being able to see people look in these farms for the first time and the giant smiles that sort of wipe across their faces. There's no way to replace the sensation of like being part of growing something, whether it's a community or plants or building a salad together. There are some really incredible ways to connect with people, and being part of a growing process as part of a group is one of those.
Off it goes.